Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of, you guessed it, the magical show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Now get ready for liftoff.
10,
Let's
9,
do
8,
this.
7, 6,
Come on, count
5,
down with me.
4,
3, 2,
2,
1.
1, 0.
We got it.
Ignition. Liftoff. Liftoff.
Get on up. In the words of James Brown, get up, get on up, get up, get on up. Here we go.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats.
And get ready for the ride of your life.
The show with no name time on Vaughn Radio.
Come on.
It's the show with no name.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to another exciting English extravaganza. It's the show with no name here on Vaughn Radio, and it is both an honor and a pleasure to spend the next 2 hours with you, my amigos. Thank you for learning and laughing with us here on the show daily. También se puede decir on a daily basis, a diario, de forma diaria. Well, hey, that's the best way to get good at anything. By doing it, by consistency. Just keep going. It's like riding a bike. If you keep pedaling, you'll keep going. The moment you stop pedaling, you know what happens. You and the bike tip over. Se vuelcan. So keep pedaling. There's my advice for you. You know, as your English teacher, I don't only teach you vocabulary, but I like to kick a little philosophy knowledge as well. You know? The right mindset. Well, it's everything in life, isn't it? Having the right mindset. Whether you want to lose a couple kilos, whether you want to learn English, whether you want to, whatever. You know, eat healthy. Takes a little bit of consistency, a little bit every day. And it's about habits in the end. You know, having healthy habits, study habits, eating habits, sleeping habits. You say hábitos. We pronounce the H, habits. And it's like everything. You know, the more you practice good habits, the more normal it'll be to have good habits. Correct? Well, that's right. That's why we say mindset is everything. Tu mentalidad. So let's get psyched. Let's get stoked. Those are two ways to say really excited, really motivated for today's Say What soundbite.
Say what?
Get up, get up, get up. Come on, come on, come on. Yes, yes, yes. Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what? What? Huh? What the? Put your hands up. Put your hands up. All right, folks. Say What soundbite, a listening exercise, an exercise in taking dictation, an exercise in summarizing. You're doing a couple different things here. Hey, time is of the essence. So if we can do 3 exercises in one, let's do it. Now, this person today, man, definitely a very well-known person. I can tell you that. A very well-known person. He isn't alive anymore. Well, that's not going to help you. He was. Se sabe siempre del tiempo verbal. He was a very, very well-known person. I would say globally. But he's also, I think, a pretty decent communicator. He was. So you shouldn't have too much difficulty with today's Say What soundbite. Also, let me remind you guys, you've got your question of the week. Big ups to Marisol. Big ups is recognition, merit to Marisol. She's already participated. She sent it to me this past weekend, and we're ready to rock, Marisol. So it's great. You are our first question of the week answerer in 2026. Marisol, hats off. And I think this week is going to be a good one. We're all going to learn from it. If you could go back in time and tell your past self something, one piece of advice, what would that be? Come on, Alberto. Things don't always go your way. Alberto, come on. You got to be more patient. Alberto, you got to fall more times. Well, you got to get up more times than you fall, but you're going to fall. Whatever. You know, we're not born knowing everything. We learn lessons. Sometimes we learn those lessons the easy way. You know, somebody tells us and we trust them and we believe them and we follow suit. And other times, and sometimes it's the best way to learn, the hard way. A golpes aprendes las cosas. So if you could go back in time and talk to your younger self, what piece of advice would you give yourself? If you'd like to participate, you can put that in a 1-minute voice note that you can record on your phone, and you can send it over to my email address, which is alonso, son dos A's, alonso@grupovon.com. And Marisol has already participated. If you'd like to participate, you have until Thursday evening to send us your participation. I think it's going to be a fun one because we're going to, go back, and it's going to force you to take a trip down memory lane, hacer un viaje por los recuerdos. But also, hey, we might even learn some lessons nowadays, things that we should tell ourselves now even. So I think it's going to be not just great to hear everybody speaking in English, but I'm excited to hear your answers as well, because I'm sure it'll be a very enriching experience for all of us. So that's on Friday when we do our question of the week. I haven't given you this. I was going to say, I just gave you the Say What soundbite. No, I didn't. I didn't give it to you yet. I'm going to give it to you right now. Here's your Say What soundbite for the first time. Let's see if you guys can make heads or tails of it. And to make heads or tails of it is a very native way of saying make sense out of it. Here we go.
That I welcome this kind of examination because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
Alberto, estoy leyendo un cómic y me estoy dando cuenta de que todas las onomatopeyas que salen son verbos en inglés.
Of course, man. We love making it easy.
Por ejemplo, aquí pone chomp y está un animal masticando.
Sure, to chomp.
Es mascar, ¿no?
Sí, mascar. Y lo haces con tus piños. Your chompers.
Ah, chompers es los piños grandotes, ¿no? Vale, y to click, por ejemplo.
To click. Well, to click is what you do on a computer. You click. Pinchar.
Perfecto, pinchas con el ratón. Claro, tiene sentido. To gulp.
Well, before I was gulping my soda. Gulp, 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 gulp.
Claro, estás tragando como un pato.
Eso es, no es lo mismo que sip.
Bien. To thump.
Thump. Don't thump your fist on the table. No des un pum, pum en la mesa.
De hecho, el conejito de Bambi se llamaba Thumper.
Eso es, todo tiene sentido en inglés.
Claro que sí, por eso hemos hecho el tercer libro de This Book is the Milk, que se llama This Book is the Shit. Este libro es la leche. Por Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender. Y lo sabes.
And you know it. That's right, folks. That's right. It's This Book is the Shit. You can pick it up at Von Tienda. We've got Von Tiendas located in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, and Zaragoza. So you can stop by, take a look at our bookshop. You can also find out about upcoming courses. Sometimes we have open houses. You say puertas abiertas. We call them open houses. So, if you want to know what's going on, again, I think the best way is to follow us on social media. We're on Instagram. We're all over the place. Just search for Grupo Baugan or Grupo Von, whatever you want to call us. Make sure you call us. That's the important part. Also, mark your calendars. If you haven't yet, we've got our first event of the new year of 2026, and this is February 3rd. That's right, February 3rd. We'll be celebrating our first Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. I'm not sure who's going to be hosting that, if that's going to be Fitz or Chris. Either way, it'll be a wonderful night. In fact, I saw Chris yesterday. I was with Chris Frank, and we went to a wrestling match. Yeah, it was awesome. I went with my family, so my wife and my daughter and my two brother-in-laws, and then Chris Frank from Frankly Speaking, you know him, from here, from Vaughn Radio. We went to see, se llama White Wolf Wrestling. If you want to check it, it's www. Wrestling. And it's a Spanish wrestling league, and it was awesome. It was theatrical. It was really, really good. And I had never been to a wrestling match. You call it pressing catch. We call it wrestling. So it was a lot of fun. But either way, it's going to be fun, whether Chris Frank hosts it or whether Fitz hosts it. We're all going to be there. We have regulars too. You know who you are. Those of you who never miss a month of trivia, kudos to you. Enhorabuena. Kudos. Hey, you're doing something, an activity in English every month. Now, the idea would be to do one every week if you can. You know, it's just like our question of the week. It's great if you participate in that, but you should be speaking more English than that as well. I mean, that's 1 minute a week. And I think that's not asking too much of you. All right, well, folks, let's move on to our next challenge. I just gave you the Say What soundbite. Let's kick things off with our pop quiz. Pop quiz. Come on. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Please be ready for today's pop quiz. This is an announcement. Our pop quiz will be beginning shortly. All right, folks, if you recognize that chime, that's from the airport, the famous airport chime. Doom, 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 flight 174. All right, well, folks, we all like to travel. I think when we can afford to travel because we have some time, because we have a little extra cash, well, we all love to travel. Whether you love traveling by boat, by plane, by train, or even road trips, which can be a lot of fun with the right people, of course. You don't want to be stuck in a car with the wrong people for too long. But traveling is awesome. It's a way that we see the world, we enrich ourselves, we get different perspectives than our own. And one of my favorite things, it also shows us a little bit more about where we are in the big picture. El panorama total, where we are. Because, when I was out in Cambodia, I was like, oh, wow, I love Cambodia. It's amazing. But wow, Madrid's a great place. Madrid has a lot to offer. So, it also helps you not just appreciate other places, but appreciate where you're from and what makes that place a very special place. So there's nothing like traveling. I'm trying to instill that in my daughter. Obviously, we're not rich, so we travel when we can, but she already knows that traveling, just like Vaughan Town, just like getting a master's, anything like that, that's not really spending money so much as investing in yourself because well, I've seen it many times. There's a big difference. You can tell when someone has traveled, when someone has been exposed to many languages and many cultures. It's something you can't fake. No puedes falsificar. You know it. You know it instantly if somebody is well traveled. And we've got tons of materials. I've got some books that have to do with travel as English on the go. It's not so much a travel book, but it's a book where I take you to 30 cities and I teach you English the way I learned Spanish, reading menus. Learning about the local businesses, learning about, some historical fun facts and all that jazz. So exploring. The idea is be an explorer. And this material we're going to look at today, it's called Inglés para viajar, tu pasaporte al mundo angloparlante. Hey, I love the name. It's a great name, especially that subtitle there. It's written by my friend Victor Sanabria, a New Yorker with Spanish roots. You don't hear that too much. So you've got Victor, and speaking of someone who has traveled, I could tell when I met Victor, the author of this book. When I met him, I knew instantly that this guy was not some kind of country bumpkin. Okay, I don't want to, I'm not saying if you come from a little town that you're not smart either. That's but a country bumpkin, a hillbilly, a hick, son palabras que significan paleto, I think you would say in Spanish. So, and you could tell the minute before I knew he was from New York, before I knew anything about him, within the first 2 or 3 minutes, I said, this guy is a smart guy. This guy, he's seen some things. He has some experience, or as we also say, it isn't his first rodeo. No, cuando alguien tiene experiencia con algo, this isn't my first rodeo. And be careful with that word. That's another one you'll learn if you're traveling. Because if you go to Los Angeles and you say, where's Rodeo Drive? Nope. Rodeo is where you see you go and see cowboys doing their thing. Rodeo Drive is where I can only go window shopping. To window shop is mirar por los escaparates. Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills is not the same as rodeo. In fact, I look at that in the Los Angeles chapter of my book, my 4th book, English on the Go, Aprende Inglés Viajando por el Mundo. Well, here's another book that we're going to look at today. Again, it has to do with travel. Now, this one's even more specific. This one will tell you stuff that you'll need to know when you're going through customs, pasando por aduana, or a security checkpoint. And this is, this is stuff you want to know. It's kind of important stuff because you want to get to your destination as quickly and as easily, as hassle-free, como decimos, as possible. And hassle-free is sin complicaciones. So you can check this out. It's called Inglés para viajar, tu pasaporte al mundo angloparlante. It's $10, $9.95. That's peanuts. No es nada. $9.95, and you can get it at vaughntienda.com. It comes with more than 2 hours of audio, and we're going to listen to a little bit of that right now.
Key grammar for trains and buses.
La mejor forma de ir, the best way. ¿Cuál es la forma más fácil para llegar al centro de la ciudad?
What's the easiest way to get to the downtown area?
¿Cuál es la forma más rápida para llegar al Hotel Astoria desde aquí?
What's the fastest way to get to the Astoria Hotel from here?
¿Cuál es la forma más barata para llegar a la estación?
What's the cheapest way to get to the station?
¿Cuál es la mejor forma para llegar a la estación de tren?
What's the best way to get to the train station?
¿Alquilar un coche es la mejor forma para llegar allí?
Is renting a car the best way to get there? Key grammar for trains and buses.
Preguntar cuánto queda. How far? ¿Cuánto queda para llegar al centro de la ciudad?
How far is it to the downtown area?
¿Cuánto queda para llegar a mi parada?
How far is it to my stop?
¿Cuánto queda para llegar al Hotel Astoria?
How far is it to the Astoria Hotel?
No queda mucho hasta tu parada.
It isn't too far until your stop.
No queda mucho hasta que tengas que bajar.
It isn't too far until you have to get off. Key vocabulary for your accommodation. Tu alojamiento. Double bed. Cama de matrimonio. Single bed. Cama individual. Twin bed. Cama gemela. Apartment. Apartamento. Bed and breakfast. Bed and breakfast. Inn. Posada. Guest house. Casa rural. Self-catering. Sin pensión. Half board. Media pensión. Full board. Pensión completa. Rating. Valoración. To stay. Quedarse. Key phrases for getting the right accommodation.
El mejor alojamiento para ti. ¿Qué valoración tiene mi alojamiento en Internet?
What's my accommodations rating online?
¿Cuál es la opción más barata?
What's the cheapest option?
¿Cuál de las opciones será la más cómoda?
Which option will be the most comfortable?
¿Es pensión completa o media pensión?
Is it full board or half board?
¿Cuántas camas hay en la habitación?
How many beds are there in the room?
¿A qué hora tenemos que hacer el check-in?
What time do we have to check in?
¿Está el desayuno incluido en la posada?
Is breakfast included at the inn?
¿Tengo que dejar una señal antes?
Do I have to leave a deposit beforehand?
¿A qué distancia queda mi alojamiento del centro de la ciudad?
How far is my accommodation from the city center?
¿Es amable el personal?
Is the staff friendly? Key grammar for trains and buses.
Preguntar cuánto queda. How far? ¿Cuánto queda para llegar al centro de la ciudad?
How far is it to the downtown area?
¿Cuánto queda para llegar a mi parada?
How far is it to my stop?
¿Cuánto queda para llegar al Hotel Astoria?
How far is it to the Astoria Hotel?
No queda mucho hasta tu parada.
It isn't too far until your stop.
No queda mucho hasta que tengas que bajar.
It isn't too far until you have to get off.
All right, there you go, folks. Some really, really good stuff, important stuff, especially if you're asking for directions. And normally, if you're a tourist, if you're visiting another place, you are going to be asking for directions. I mean, obviously, you can check your phone, but also, I'm the kind of guy, I've got to say this, I'm definitely the kind of guy who will ask someone because I like talking to people. In fact, in my house, I'm called Chatty Charlie. Yeah. In Spanish, Charlie Charlas. Yeah. You can ask my daughter, you can ask my wife, but there's one thing I can tell you. I have earned that nickname fair and square. Me lo he ganado a pulso. Charlie Charlas. So I like talking to people. Of course, you can always check it on your phone, but and I've noticed this. People normally like when you chat with them, especially when they are the ones who are in the know. Ellos son los que saben, los enterados, because they feel like, oh, wow, I can be helpful. Una palabra que vimos ahí. Bueno, we saw friendly, servicial, can be friendly or helpful. You were very friendly. You were very helpful. And I've got to tell you something, as somebody who has traveled a lot, there is nothing in the world like friendly people at your hotel, friendly staff, a friendly crew on the airplane. It makes your stay, tu alojamiento, tu quedada, your stay a lot more pleasant. Amigos, we've got to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll take a look at our Say What soundbite for the second time. We've also got our pop quiz. I'll give you the 3 things I want to test you on. We'll also highlight some of the vocabulary from Inglés para Viajar. Plus, we've got our news report. We've got spelling bees, homophones, double trouble, and so much more up ahead. So, stick around. Welcome back. Welcome back, folks. This is part 2 of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget to tune into all the amazing programs we've got here. All you have to do is download our free app, or you can catch your programs on your favorite podcast platform. You've got the Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams, Richard Vaughn Live, Fitz and his program No Excuses. You've got Speaking with Confidence with Ale. You've got Learn English with Ruby, The Lunchtime Show with Rob Grams, Let's Get Random with Jules Linares, The Salad with Dave Boyce, Jessica Fernandez and The Hour to Empower, Kyle Miller and Drive Time, and my buddy Chris Frank, Frankly Speaking. So many amazing programs here on Vaughn Radio, all designed to get you excited about learning English. Not just to teach you English, but to get you excited about it. It's not the same to like, oh, I'm learning English and I'm learning English, right? Totally different. The intention, the tone says it all. All right, here's your pop quiz. I've got 3 challenges for you. As always, the first one. ¿Me podría decir dónde está la comisaría de policía más cercana? I hope you never have to use this one, right? Because then maybe you're filing a report. To file a report is poner una denuncia. No? Archivar un informe, we say. See, if you didn't know that, it's a good one to know. I hope you never have to file a report because nobody pickpockets you. Nadie te hace de carterista. So, number 1, ¿me podría decir, we want to be polite here, ¿me podría decir usted dónde está la comisaría más cercana? Comisaría de policía. The second one, ¿te apetece alquilar un coche? We're looking at 2 things there, alquilar un coche and ¿te apetece? The structure te apetece. So we've got questions here, okay? 2 questions. ¿Me podría decir dónde está la comisaría de policía más cercana? Number 2, ¿te apetece alquilar un coche? And number 3, and this one I want you to tell us the truth here, mi casa o mi pueblo, you can say whatever you want there, está a kilómetros de Madrid. Okay, so I want to see if you can use this far, and no, cuando hablamos de distancia, que no es lo mismo que how long does it take. How long does it take? 2 hours. La otra es cuántos kilómetros, right? And it depends. We all know it depends who's driving, how long it takes. So, number one, ¿me podría decir usted dónde está la comisaría de policía más cercana? Number two, ¿te apetece alquilar un coche? And number three, mi casa o mi pueblo, como tú quieras decirlo, está a ta, fill in the blank, kilómetros de Madrid. All right, there you go. Those are your 3 pop quiz challenges. We'll give you some time to think that over. Those are some structures, some really good structures that we're going to practice afterwards. But right now, amigos, we've got to listen to our Say What soundbite. We're going to listen to it right now for the second time. Everybody pay attention.
That I welcome this kind of examination because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. That's right, folks. This book is the shit. It's available at Vaughan Tienda, also Casa del Libro. Well, wherever fine books are sold. You can also pick it up at one of our offices in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, and Zaragoza. All amazing places, no doubt about it. All right, let's see. We've already given you the Say What soundbite twice. I've given you guys your question of the week. So I think we need to go take a look at our Say What soundbite, at your reactions, and see how you did in our pop quiz. All stuff that came from Inglés para viajar. All right, let's see what we've got over here. Chris Valrol checking in. She says, morning, folks. Morning, Chris. Great to have you on board. You are a model student, as we always say here, and a leader. Definitely a leader. And she's participating in our Say What soundbite. Let's see her take, su opinión. She says, I heard an American man. He sounds like a seasoned speaker. Seasoned, sazonado. También pero seasoned, con mucha experiencia, right? A seasoned speaker, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. He may be a politician. No, he was, I should say, a politician. So great, yes. Or a bigwig from showbiz. Is there a difference these days? I mean, isn't the same? They're all doing a show anyway. Right? I mean, honestly, think about it. Ronald Reagan, at least in my country, Ronald Reagan, he was an actor. Now, Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor of California. Like, there's no, in fact, they say some of the, Donald Trump, reality show TV star. Okay, so just to give you an idea, it's all a show. It's all a circus. Yeah. I guess being a politician is kind of the same these days as being a bigwig from show business. And he says he's not a crock and that he agrees with a certain kind of examination. All right. Well, he doesn't say the word crock, but that's a good word to look at. Thank you for bringing us that word, crock. If something is a crock, it's I don't believe it. That is a crock. That's a crock of shit. Okay, tonterías, gilipollez. It's a crock. He says the word crook. And crook, you say chorizo, not the embutido. I mean chorizo, like ladrón. I love that you call him, in Spanish, you call a crook a chorizo. Makes me hungry every time you guys talk about crime. It's true. So, yeah, that crook, I'll give you both words in context. That's a crock. I don't believe that crook. So that's a crock. Eso es tontería. Una tontería. Una gilipollez. I don't believe that crook. No me creo a ese ladrón. So, great, Chris. Excellent analysis. Wonderful. Born to Iron Man, he says, morning show with no namers. We've got our model students here ready to rock. All right, let's review a couple things from the book, Inglés para Viajar. Again, you can get it for under $10 at Von Tienda. It comes with over 2 hours of audio, and as you heard, it's practical stuff for anybody who's traveled, to an English-speaking country. Now, we looked at a few different kinds of beds. Some are the same. Some are easy. King, de tamaño rey. Okay, some are easy. What about this one? Let's see if you guys know this one. Litora, you say? Litera, not litora. Litera. See, I don't even know it. And believe me, we've had them. When you go on a cruise sometimes, since there's limited space in a cruise, well, you normally have these. I remember having these at camp too, and they also have them in prison. I don't remember that because I've never been to prison, luckily. Never committed crimes, so that's good. A bunk bed. And also to bunk, we use that word. I'm going to bunk with you tonight. Me voy a quedar o dormir contigo. Okay, so it's not just, hey, that's a good double trouble. Okay, I told him I don't have bunk beds, but he insisted on bunking with me anyway. Okay, that sounds weird though. Bunk? Oh, he wants to bunk with you. Oh, wow. So bunk, dormir, pasar la noche, to bunk. B-U-N-K, which is interesting because if you look at the word to debunk, no significa no quedarte la noche, significa desmentir. Oh, you heard that? Yeah, that was fake news. They debunked it. To debunk. So great word, bunk beds, and debunk. And if you didn't know it, well, there you go. Now you know. All right, so bunk beds. The word inn, one of the most famous hotel chains in the United States. Seguro si habéis ido, también lo tienen en Singapore, porque me quedé ahí en Singapore, is Holiday Inn. Well, inn is posada, albergue. Now, it's a homophone for the word in. So we slept in and in. Lo único es la segunda tiene dos N's. Okay. Room and board. That's a way of saying pensión completa or full board. You can say room and board or full board. Half board, media pensión. Okay. Your stay is tu estancia. Pero también stay es alojarse. We're staying at the Holiday Inn. We had a very nice stay. Ahí es sustantivo. So esa palabra puede ser sustantivo también, okay? We had a really nice stay last time we were at that hotel, or we stayed at that hotel, okay? Alojamiento. How do we say that? We looked at the word accommodations. There's another word too. Lodging. Lodging. Yeah. We're looking for lodging options. And again, if you know, there's a very famous chain in the United States called Econo, like economical, Econo Lodge. So let's see how they translate just the word lodge. But it's another way of saying a hotel, a lodge, a cabaña, no, but alojamiento, yeah. But yeah, a ski lodge, we use that in skiing too. Have you heard the word before? Lodge, Lodge. So lodging, we're trying to figure out the lodging now, the accommodations. That means where you're sleeping, okay? Another one, I would say depósito, but it's not depósito, it's señal. Hemos tenido que dejar una señal. We had to leave a deposit. Okay, you can call it a security deposit as well, or a deposit. And that's where you leave money or your credit card, and just in case anything is broken or destroyed, you're paying for it, right? So we see that a lot of times. And then we looked at the word too, servicial, friendly, helpful, es que te han ayudado, pero same idea. Okay, so good to know that one. I love that one in Spanish. I always say it. Anytime somebody goes above and beyond, da más de lo que se espera de ellos. Well, that's when I always say in Spanish, porque vivo en España, muy amable. But in English, you can say, oh, thank you. You're very helpful, right? Me ayudaste muchísimo, right? Your staff was very friendly. They're very helpful. All right, let's see what you guys had to say about our pop quiz challenges. Born to Iron Man, let's see what you came up with. He says, could you tell me where the nearest police station is? Perfecto. Very polite. Lo has puesto bien la estructura, que es indirect speech. So no es, where is the police station? It's, could you tell me where the police station is? El verbo va al final, right? Could you tell me where the nearest or closest, los dos te valen, police station is? Yeah, we say estación de policía, okay? Let's see. The next one. Do you feel like renting a car? Perfecto. Remember, we looked at a British way too the other day. Do you fancy renting a car? ¿Te apetece? Right? So do you fancy, americanos lo diríamos como born to Iron Man. Do you feel like renting a car? Are you up for it? ¿Te apetece? Are you up for renting a car? Do you feel like renting a car? We know that from the Bruno Mars song, the Lazy song. Today I don't feel like doing anything. I just want to lay in my bed. I was waiting for the beat there. Tenía que esperar el ritmo, or else you're off beat there. So do you feel like renting a car? Y se llama este tipo de coche. It's called a rental car. All right, a rental car. All right, very different from leasing a car. If you lease a car, you're keeping it at your house, right? If you're renting it, it's usually for a couple days. Leasing is more long-term renting. And the British, they would say that sentence totally different. Do you fancy hiring a car? So that's the British, totally British way of saying it. Do you fancy hiring a car? We would say to rent, okay? Now, it's interesting because if you say to hire a car in American English, you're saying contratarlo, pero como para que trabaje para ti. Right? So just be careful. If you're going to Britain, you hire a car. If you go to the United States, you rent a car. Okay? And the last one, my house is 400 kilometers from Madrid. Se dice con Z, ¿no? Madrid. Great. My house is 400 kilometers from Madrid. Now, here's my question. Can we say away? My house is 400 kilometers away from Madrid? Absolutely. So it's fine how you put it. That works perfectly. But you can also put away, 400 kilometers away from Madrid. The thing is, I've heard people make a mistake and say, my house is 400 kilometers far from Madrid. No. My house is 400 kilometers from Madrid or 400 kilometers away from Madrid. Y luego, como hemos dicho, no es lo mismo que cuánto se tarda. It takes 4 hours to get to Madrid. No, se tarda is it takes. Que no lo confundamos con it lasts. The car ride lasts 2 hours. It takes 4 hours. So, acordaos de esto. How long es la clave para las preguntas? De tiempo. Right? How long have you been living in Madrid? How long did the wrestling match last? How long did it take you to find a parking spot? Right? All of those how long, the answer is going to be a number. Okay? The mistake I've heard there is I've heard people say how many time? And that we can't do that. We can say how many times, but we're asking a different question then. Because how many times is cuántas veces? How much time you could say, but it would be much more normal to say how long. How much time have you been here? No, ni me sale fácil. Right? Es como darle una vuelta. How long have you been here? ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas aquí? And you know what? From the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I'm in a sing-song kind of mood today. How long will I slide? I'll separate my side. Great job. Born to Iron Man. Spot on. Perfect. Chris Valrol. She's got something to say in today's pop quiz. And she says, please, could you tell me where the nearest police station is? Guys, now you think it's easy because you're good. But a lot of people have difficulty with indirect speech. Seriously, you don't know how many times I mean, that's why the Vaughn method involves tell him to ask me. Because then you're practicing not just asking, but telling somebody else to do it, which then changes the structure, right? Let's practice a couple really quickly, okay? I'll do the direct question, then you say, could you tell me? Okay? Before it. So what time is it? Empezamos fácil. What time is it? ¿Tú has dicho? Could you tell me what time it is? ¿Ves? Damos la vuelta a la estructura ahí. Right? Es la misma estructura que cuando afirmamos. Okay? Could you tell me what time it is? Not it is. It is. It is. Suavizamos esa I latina. All right. Where's he from? Where's he from? ¿De dónde es él? Could you tell me where he's from? Is he? Pregunta directa. He is. Pregunta indirecta. Y yo lo contraigo. Could you tell me where he's from? Okay, another one. Okay. Más difícil aquí. Whose car is it? Whose car is it? ¿De quién es el coche? Could you tell me whose car it is? Could you tell me whose car it is? Okay, two more. Vamos con una que hemos mirado. How long does it take? How long does it take to go to Madrid? How long does it take to get to? Vamos a usar get to. Así practicamos ese get. How long does it take to get to Madrid? Ahora tú, could you tell me? Porque siempre ponemos esto para ser más polite. I would never, ever walk up to somebody and say, how long does it take? I would never. I would always say, could you tell me? Do you know? So could you tell me how long it takes to get to Madrid? Could you tell me how long it takes to get to Madrid? Okay, and the last one. The last one, should I give you an easy one or a hard one? Okay, I'll give you a hard one. I know, because you can take it. All right? How long would it have taken? Okay? ¿Cuánto hubiese tardado? How long? Oh, you wanted a hard one, you got it. How long would it have taken? Ahora tú con el, could you tell me? Okay. So la directa otra vez. How long would it have taken? Ahora lo digo lento para que lo oigas todo. Ahora lo digo más natural. How long would it have, el have se convierte en of muchas veces a la hora de decirlo en esta estructura, que es el pasado condicional. How long would it have taken? Vamos a ver si lo acertaste. Could you tell me how long it would have taken? Could you tell me how long it would have taken? So, directa, how long would it have taken? Could you tell me how long it would have taken? All right, so again, tough, but the only way to really master that is by practicing it, because in Spanish, direct speech and indirect speech share the same structure. In English, they don't. And once you know it, well, no problem. No sweat. All right, excellent job. Let's see the next one. Chris says, do you feel like renting a car? I love it, my little Americans. Do you feel like renting a car? También hay otra canción con feel like. Es buena, ¿eh? I feel like making love. Feel like making love to you. I feel like making love. I don't remember the name of the group, but if you've never heard the song, whoa, it's a good one. And you practice the structure, me apetece. All right, and the last one. She says, my town is 600 kilometers from Madrid. Kinda. Good. Give or take. Ballpark, como decimos, estimación. Around. Siempre te vale el around también, porque cuando vine a España todo el mundo, more or less. Around. Ya está, más fácil. My town is around 600 kilometers from Madrid. Kind of, she says, algo así. All right, well, excellent job. Folks, we have got to go to a quick commercial break. I can't believe it. Time is just zipping by here on the show with no name. We've got a lot of stuff to cover in the second half of today's show. So if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Yeah. Welcome back. Something I wanted to clear up too. In the question, we use far. We just don't use it in the answer. So example, how far is your house from Madrid? Or how far is it from your house to Madrid? You've got a couple options there too. How far is your house from Madrid? Or how far is it from your house to Madrid? Okay, jot it down. And then in the answer, we don't say far. You can use away, right? Y cuando ponemos far away, junto significa bastante lejos. In a galaxy far, far away. Always learning from music and movies and the world around us. Here on the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget to participate in our question of the week. I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. You have until Thursday evening. A huge shout out to Marisol. She is ahead of the game. Va adelantada. She's like, I'm ready. I know it. I know the advice I would give to my younger self. And you know what? In another 10 years, you could ask yourself the same question. What advice would you give your 48-year-old self, Alberto? Right? That's the good thing. This is something that continues. If you're evolving, right? If you're always trying to bring out the best version of yourself, then this is an ongoing process for the rest of your life. You know, asking yourself, how can I improve? How can I evolve? Because you got two philosophies here. You are what you are, and that's it. Or you can do and change and be whatever you want to be. I don't know about you, but I'll take the second one. I'll take the latter, as we say, la segunda opción. All right, it's the actually the argument in the Rocky IV movie. Rocky IV, o sea, no parece todo filosófico, pero viene de Rocky IV. Apollo Creed tells Rocky, "You can't change, Stallion. You can't change. We are what we are." Something like this, a really passionate speech. And then Rocky realizes at the end, if I could change, then you could change, then all of us can change. You can tell I watched way too many movies as a child. All right, folks, let's rock and roll with today's Homophones on the Show with No Name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, it's homophones rhyme.
The alternative grunge version. When everybody was trying to sound like Eddie Vedder, remember that? Everybody want to sound like Earl Jam. Hey, they're phases. Life is about trends and phases and things that come and go. All right, well, folks, let's take a look at our homophone section. This is where we look at words that are sometimes confusing. They can be funny words because you can use them, obviously, in... you can use these words in jokes. My daughter loves these words, for example. She totally anytime she hears a word, she goes, but doesn't aunt mean hormiga? But it's also tia? Oh, and she's like, I love it. So we're quite similar in that way. We're all word nerds here. Hey, there are worse addictions out there, aren't there? All right, let's take a look at today's words. I'm sure you're familiar with these words. The question then is, do they sound exactly the same or not? The first word is donde. ¿Dónde? It's a question. You need to know the word ¿dónde? ¿Dónde vives? Si quieres decir ¿dónde vives? Right? So, ¿dónde is the first word? Okay? And the second word is llevar puesto. Yeah. Usar, el usa gorra, el lleva una gorra puesta. Puesto. I get confused with your masculine and feminine stuff. In the language. All right, so si querías decir ¿dónde llevarías una chaqueta de piel, por ejemplo? Right? ¿Dónde llevarías? Where would Shh, Alberto, shut your big mouth. I almost just gave you, well, I did give you the first word, but I didn't say it too loud. All right, so the first word, donde, you need to know that word. And the second word is llevar puesto, okay? Me gusta llevar gorra, the word llevar over there. All right, those are your two words. What are they? I imagine you know them. And do they sound exactly the same or not? All right, we'll take a look at that in just a moment. Let me give you the Say What soundbite for the third time. Hopefully we're getting closer and somebody will be able to jot it all down.
That I welcome this kind of examination because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughan Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughntown. Lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovon.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughntown. That's right, folks. Vaughntown. It is probably one of the most groundbreaking initiatives ever. And I'm not just saying that because I work with Vaughn, but I'm saying that because the day I saw that, I said, this is brilliant. And that was over 20 years ago when I said, what? This guy set up a town where only English is spoken, smack dab in the center of Spain. It's diabolical. It's brilliant. It's not diabolical, but you know what I mean. It's wow. It's an amazing idea. You know, you don't even have to participate in it or be a language learner to say, wow, that is pretty groundbreaking. Revolucionario. All right, let's see what we've got over here. We're going to go over to our chat room and see who is participating. Chris Valrol says, could the song you mentioned be by Bad Company? I mean, I feel like making love. Yeah, I think that's the one. It sounds familiar because it was like a 1970s song. I think it was popular before I was born. But just like all good music, it resurfaces. So yeah, I believe it is Bad Company. So yeah, you don't only learn English here with us, but you'll also get some good musical recommendations, some movie recommendations, and not just from me. You guys many times have said, hey, you got to check out this series, or you got to check out this movie, which is great because you give each other tips as well. All right, Chris says, oh, by the way, the word crook reminds me of by hook or by crook. Absolutely. Great. That would be a great double trouble. By hook or by crook means no matter what. Sea como sea. We're going to finish this by hook or by crook. Como sea. Como haya que hacerlo. All right. Absolutely. Good ear. All right. Chris Valrol also says, okay, the two words are correct. And she says that they are homophones. All right, well, I think there's a real simple way to sort this out here. We say the words. The first word is where. The second word is where. I'll say them again. I'm going to say, ¿Dónde llevas la gorra? Where do you wear your hat? Let me give it to you again. Where, I guess no es where, right? Where do you wear your hat? Do they sound the same? Absolutely. Don't doubt Chris Valrol. Don't second guess her. Where do you wear your hat? Okay, wear is an irregular verb. That second word is an irregular verb. Let's practice it. Every day I wear a hat. Yesterday, Yesterday I wore a hat. And lately I've worn a hat. Well, you want to know something? The second column is also a homophone. Oh, yeah, that's right. War, el pasado, suena como guerra, right? They wore a uniform during the war. They wore camouflage during the war. And then the third one, worn. Lately, I've worn a hat. Sounds like worn, avisar. W-O-R-N. Suena como W-A-R-N. So, wow, those are three good words to know. Where, wore, worn. Well, the conjugation of where, because all three of those, and I don't know if there are many cases when all three forms of the verb are homophones. So there you go. Excellent job, Chris Valrol. Where do you wear your hat? They wore a uniform in the war. And I'm going to warn you, that seat is worn. Desgastado, ¿no? Está a punto de romperse. I'm going to warn you, that seat is worn. So today we got three homophones for the price of one. That's a killer deal. All right, folks, it's time to move on to our news report.
This is the news report on the show with no name, bringing you the latest breaking news. I'm Alberto Alonso, reporting live.
That's right, folks. It is our news report here on the show with no name. And as you know, we take a look at some wacky news. The same way we look at wacky world records, well, we look at wacky news. You're not going to hear about Venezuela and, whatever, Gaza Strip. Sorry, not here. We get enough of that. We're going to talk more about crazy people doing goofy things, wacky things. All right, I call this story Swallow Your Pride. You say the same thing, right? Traga tu orgullo. Swallow your pride. Now, a swallow is also a bird. Podríamos tener creo que lo hemos hecho en algún Double Trouble. I hope you don't swallow a swallow. Espero que no tragues una golondrina. It's stupid sentence. Pero si lo asocias, ya te acuerdas que si sé decir tragar, sé decir golondrina. Right? Hence, Double Trouble. So swallow your pride. And be careful with that word too, because pride is el orgullo. Proud is orgulloso. So pride, sustantivo, proud, adjetivo. I'm very proud. Le digo a mi hija diario, I'm very proud of you. Nunca digo I'm very pride. De hecho, no sé si sabe la palabra pride, porque uso proud mucho más. I'm very proud of you, at least in context with her. Well, police authorities, if you would like, have recovered a swallowed, excuse me, I just made up that pronunciation, swallowed Fabergé pendant after a 6-day wait for it to reappear. Now, this person seems to have been constipated, estreñido, right? 6 days? You know these people, they're mules. They maybe bring drugs from one country to another or diamonds or whatever, and they swallow them. Now, I don't know how anybody could do this. Honestly, when I've seen this, on these fronteras, control de frontera, I'm like, what is wrong with these people? And I guess you're in a desperate situation to put cocaine or something else in your system and then poop it out and then, dig through it. It just, the whole process just seems, not so glamorous, is it? So yeah, New Zealand police have recovered a James Bond-inspired Fabergé pendant. You guys know Fabergé, the famous jewelry. And basically, there was a guy who was in a jewelry store in Auckland, in New Zealand. And, well, he was accused of swallowing it. And they said, okay, well, we're just going to keep an eye on you until it comes out. Finally, 6 days later, seriously, this guy needed some bran. How do you say bran? I always forget that word. A ver, bran. Vamos a ver. Salvado. That's it, salvado, bran. Seems like this guy needed a little bran in his diet. Jeez. Well, yeah. So it finally came out. I don't have to give you too much information of how that works, right? We don't have to get into too much detail. But this limited edition Fabergé egg pendant, and pendant no es pendiente. Pendiente, tenemos algo pendientes, we have something pending. A pendant es un colgante. It's a false friend. And it was inspired by the 1983 James Bond film Octopussy. If you guys have seen the movie, there's a Fabergé egg that's in the movie. Well, this was the real one that was made, inspired by that one. And its value is 19,000, so almost 20,000 US dollars. As I said, the guy was apprehended instantly because they caught him. The thing these days is everything's on camera. So, even if they're able to detain him for a second, let's check the camera. Okay, yes, he did swallow it. You're under arrest, sir. You have the right to remain silent. And then they read you your rights. So the guy made a court appearance, and basically he has been in police custody since then, and they had to watch the guy like a hawk, right? To watch someone like a hawk es vigilar desde cerca. They had to watch each and every one of his movements. You get it? A bowel movement is when you go, mueves los intestinos, you poop. They had to watch all his movements. There's always a joke in there somewhere. And they haven't named the guy. He's a 32-year-old guy, but he's due to appear in court next week. Now, this is a good structure to know. If you're due to, programado. You're due to appear in court. Okay, estás llamado, programado para estar ahí. And so, yeah, I wouldn't want to be, I thought about it this way. A, I would never swallow something like that. It's just, ugh. But also, I wouldn't want to be the police who had to retrieve it, right? Because one of the police officers, obviously, you know, once the nugget came out, nugget, ¿cómo se dice nugget? Nugget, ya sabéis, los chicken nuggets, pero nugget is pepita perla. Once the nugget comes out, you got to get the Fabergé egg out of it. And that must be a really thankless job. Now, only 50 of these were made. So it is a pretty precious, you know, I don't know much about jewelry. I know Fabergé is like Swarovski, right? Same kind of, I don't even know if I pronounced it right. Swarovski, the crystals. Well, I know that, you know, those are synonymous with, you know, the bomb, lo mejor. And each one of these was crafted from gold. Then they encrusted 183 diamonds in it. No diamond, diamond. No es ni una o, diamond. And 2 sapphires. It is a pendant that is about 8.4 centimeters tall. And it was on a stand. Right? So, man, that's sounds like a pretty shitty situation. A pretty shitty situation. Okay, all right. Well, folks, there you go. That's your news report. Right now, it's time for today's Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
Do 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 do.
Spelling Bee.
Do 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 do.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
That's right, amigos. Welcome to your Spelling Bee. The Spelling Bee is a section where we spell some words for you. The first round is hell on earth. The second round will be a lot easier. Really quickly over here, Chris Valrol says, I don't understand how they can swallow such unswallowable things either. I practically make a big deal out of swallowing a pill. Same here. Those are your gag reflexes. I don't know how you say in Spanish, que te da arcadas, your gag, like, you know, if somebody uses a doctor uses a tongue depressor, we call those your gag, because the gag is, in fact, as I just opened my mouth, I just snapped a rubber band. I don't know if you heard that sound. That really hurt. Oh my Jesus. I wear a retainer and one of the rubber bands just snapped with sound effects included. You can't plan that. So yeah, me too. Also, we say an expression, speaking of another expression with the word swallow, that's a bitter pill to swallow. Okay, and that's something, algo difícil de tragar, a bitter pill to swallow. Well, I've seen it. I've seen it on these, you know, control de fronteras. People swallow bags of cocaine and they wait for it to come out the other end. I mean, it's going to come out eventually. Now, I've even heard stories of the drugs opening inside of the person. And, well, the result there is death. overdose, obviously. But I remember reading a story. I don't know how true it is, but of a flight where somebody, I guess the cocaine bags came open in the person's stomach, and the rest is history. I don't have to tell you what happened after that. Let's see. Holden says maybe it was a brick. Yeah. Well, he says, no, you don't swallow it. You force it up the region. Well, this guy swallowed it, according to the authorities. They filmed him swallowing it. But I imagine, there are two different ways to do it, right? One, you just put it up there. I don't know if that's going to be any easier. In fact, I'm going to say neither one of the two options. So, I wouldn't swallow it or force it up into my nether regions. No way. No way. I could never be a criminal. All right, folks, here we go. Here's your spelling bee, round one. The first word is N-E-W space E-N-G-L-A-N-D. The second one is H-A-R-T-F-O-R-D. The third one, B-R-I-D-G-E-P-O-R-T. The fourth one is 29-T-H space M-O-S-T space P-O-P-U-L-O-U-S. The fifth one is 3.6 million space R-E-S-I-D-E-N-T-S. And the last one is C-O-N-N-E-C-T-I-C-U-T space R-I-V-E-R. Oof, tough one. All right. Take your time. I'll give it to you again. If not, we'll get ready for round two here. I know that was fast, but again, you get a second chance. So even if you get half of it on the first go, that makes the second round a lot easier, right? All right, going once, going twice. Let's see. Anybody? All right, here we go, folks. The second round of today's spelling bee. The first word is N-E-W space. Hang on. It looks like Born to Iron Man may have gotten it. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. It's Born to Iron Man. Great job. All right, this one's for the rest of you. N-E-W space E-N-G-L-A-N-D. The second one is H-A-R-T-F-O-R-D. The third one, B-R-I-D-G-E-P-O-R-T. The fourth one is 29-T-H space M-O-S-T space P-O-P-U-L-O-U-S. The fifth one, 3.6 million space R-E-S-I-D-E-N-T-S. And the last one is C-O-N-N-E-C-T-I-C-U-T space R-I-V-E-R. Folks, we're heading to our final commercial break. We'll be right back with the rest of today's show. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. This is the fourth and final part of today's show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Welcome back. Don't forget to stay tuned. After today's show, you can learn to speak with confidence with Ale. That's right. Speaking with Confidence with Ale right after today's show. The best way to make sure you never miss a show is to download the free Fawn Radio app. And you can learn English from the car, at the waiting room, at the dentist's, buying some food, doing some grocery shopping. It's not groserías. Grocery shopping is los comestibles. Right? Ir al super. It's lots of false friends, huh? Without even trying it on every show, we come across at least 3 or 4, maybe 5 false friends. We already looked at constipated, estreñido, right? What was the other one we said? Pendant. Sería pending, pendiente, pero a pendant es un colgante. Hey, just being aware of these, you're one step ahead of the game. Because you're like, no, espera, aquí hay un truco. Aunque no te acuerdes, dirías, espera, aquí falla algo. No me fío yo de este amigo falso. They're really called false cognates. Yeah, but we call them false friends. It's a lot more fun. All right, my amigos, let's kick things off with our first challenge of the 4th part of the show. It is today's double trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
And that's right, folks. Today's double trouble. As always, the double trouble section is where you have to use the same word twice. We've already looked at a couple double troubles as well without even trying. So here we go. Estamos de acuerdo, o en sintonía, you say as well. Estamos de acuerdo / en sintonía. Ella sobresale, destaca. Okay? So if, let's see how they would express it here. It means to be very noticeable, interesting, exciting, okay? Striking. You basically, you excel, sobresales, sobresalir. Viene excellent, Microsoft Excel. He excels. Born to Iron Man and Chris Valrol excel every day in this class, right? They do an excellent job. They excel. ¿Ves? Siempre jugando con estas palabras, so we feel comfortable with them, right? That's the key. Excel, claro. Nunca decimos Excel, like you say in Spanish. So Microsoft Excel, and to excel. O sea, que si lo vamos a hacer en inglés, hay que decirlo correctamente. Okay? So to be interesting, to be riveting, to be above the rest almost in your own way, right? You stand out. To stand out es otra forma de decir, de resaltar, sobresalir, right? Destacar. So, estamos de acuerdo, / en sintonía, same thing. Ella sobresale, destaca. All right? That's your double trouble. You've got to use the same word twice, as you know, and that's why we call it double trouble. Also, we're going to listen to our Say What soundbite. Here it is for the 4th and final time.
That I welcome this kind of examination because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar listo para cualquier desafío? Con el máster de inglés del Grupo Vaughan podrás transformar tu futuro. Este programa intensivo te ayudará a dominar el inglés profesional, perfeccionar tu comunicación y ganar la confianza que necesitas para conseguir tus objetivos. Nuestros profesores Vaughan especializados te prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional. No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupovaughan.com.
That's right, amigos. You know it. You've got everything you need over at grupovon.com. Also, we have got offices all over the place in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, Zaragoza, and we're also online. We've got a little bit of everything. So whether you're looking for online courses, whether you're looking for courses that help you with self-study or materials or immersive experiences, we've got you covered. Go to grupovon.com. And also, if you use social media, don't forget that you can follow us there and get more information about everything we've got going on, from special deals to open houses, events, and all that jazz. All right, let's see what we've got over here. We're taking a look at our double trouble. And Daniela, what's up, Daniela? Happy New Year. And she says, we are on the same page. She jumps off the page. Ladies and gentlemen, yes. Daniela, you jump off the page. That's right. Piénsalo. You jump, no, sobresales de la página. Ahí están todas las palabras y luego tú, ¡pam! Right? Piensa, estás en negrita o estás highlighted, ¿no? Con uno de estos de fluorescentes. To jump off the page. Also, I think of like a pop-up book. Estos libros donde se dobla y se pliega y sale como una flor. You know, I used to love pop-up books. You jump off the page, right? It's a great expression. And if you think about it, it makes sense. You excel. You jump off the page, right? You are unique, right? So we're on the same page. We agree. We see eye to eye. That's another way to say it. We're on the same page. She jumps off the page. Daniela, excellent job. Glad you're back too. She says, so glad you're back. Well, I'm glad you're back hanging out with us, learning and laughing here on the show with no name. Also, let's take a look really quickly at our spelling bee words. It looks like we've got two winners today. We've got Chris and Born to Iron Man. Well, in order, Born to Iron Man and Chris. I know it doesn't matter, but so excellent job. Now, these words all had to do with Connecticut. Now, that's a weird state because I don't even think I know how to spell it. Honestly, I would have to spell check it. Tendría que revisar. But also you can use the abbreviation CT. Remember, every state in the United States has its own official abbreviation, and CT is the one for Connecticut. And today, in 1788, Connecticut became the fifth state to ratify the U.S. Constitution. And Connecticut. Have any of you ever been to Connecticut? I've got to say, one of the best slices of pizza I've ever had in my life was in Connecticut. And I'm talking about somebody who lived in New York. So my standard is very high, and who has been to Italy. I'll never forget it. My friend Luca, who's from Connecticut, he took me over to, where was it? New Haven. Oh, man. The town was excellent. The pizzeria was to die for. And I remember I wasn't technically going to Connecticut. I mean, I was going to Connecticut to meet up with friends to drive to Vermont to go skiing. And I remember a part of me was like, I know you guys are from here, but I love it here. And they're like, yeah, but we're going up to the mountains. I'm like, yeah, but this is fun. So Connecticut, very famous place. It's also, they call it the Constitution State. It's known for its New Haven style white clam pizza. O sea, pizza con almejas. Cágate. Yeah, that's true. And obviously, New England clam chowder. They love their clams up there, sus almejas. Now, you got clam chowder is a kind of soup. No, es como con patatas y almejas. It's excellent. But there are two kinds of clam chowder. Okay, you've got Manhattan style, which is with a tomato base. O sea, es como patatas. It's got celery, apio, onion, cebolla, potato. So it's like a basic soup, but then you add clams. I always mix up mejillones y almejas. Almejas, clams. And it is delicious. Now, I prefer the New England style, the style from Connecticut and the other New England states. But the New England style is creamy. So it's the same kind of base, but no tomato. And instead of tomato, there's like a creamy, garlicky kind of base. I am getting really hungry. In fact, I remember one time I had New England clam chowder in San Francisco. What? Well, it's popular all over the United States, even though it's from New England, that style of this soup, it's known all over. Okay, you'll go to a deli in Texas and they're like, New England clam chowder? And I remember I had it at the Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco. I had it out of a sourdough bread bowl. It was, I still dream about it. Some meals you just dream about and you'll never forget them. That's one of them for me. It was a sourdough. You say masa madre. We say masa agria because, right, it's a little more sour, the dough. And it was hollowed out. Y sacaron todo lo de dentro. To hollow es hacer hueco. And they hollowed it out and they filled it with clam chowder. So you ate the clam chowder and then you ate the bowl. And it was, oh my God. Oh, my mouth is watering right now. Plus, in Connecticut, you've got some of the biggest universities. Yale, for example, where many American presidents and VIPs, very important people, go. So quite an interesting state, very close to New York, certain parts. In fact, there are some people who commute every day from Connecticut to New York City, and it's connected by train, by highways. In fact, there's something we call in that area the tri-state area. The tri-state area is the New York metro area, basically. The tri-state area is New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. And normally it's the parts that are near New York, not northern New York State, right? So the tri-state area, it's kind of the area where people live and work on the East Coast in that area. I don't know, Connecticut has got some major cities. Hartford is a very big city. Bridgeport, Connecticut. New Haven is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's located, again, in an area of the United States called New England. Ahí viene New England. And New England is 6 states. I didn't know that. I thought it was only 3. Fíjate. So it's kind of a whole Northeast. It's the northeastern United States. So it's Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Vermont. And it's an area that's quite cold, but also in the spring and summer, it's beautiful because there's a lot of rainfall. So it's green and there are flowers and mountains. New England is a beautiful area in the United States. And it was one of the first areas that was settled. So number 1 was New England. Number 2, Hartford, a very important city there. In fact, Hartford is the capital of Connecticut. You've got Bridgeport as well. It is the 29th most populous state. So number 4 was 29th most populous. Number 5 was 3.6 million residents. That's how many people live in the state of Connecticut. And what runs through it? The Connecticut River, which was number 6. Excellent job, Chris, and Born to Iron Man. Also, a nice round of applause for Chris. She nailed today's Say What soundbite as well. Wow. Oh, I think you're missing a little. Don't worry. Excellent effort. We'll be taking a look at that and solving that very shortly. But right now, it's time for Name That Movie. Name That Movie. All right, folks. Oh, wait. Whoa. Hey. What? Hey. Good God. Oh, God. Okay. All right. Here we go. A wandering gunfighter plays two rival families against each other in a town torn apart by greed, pride, and revenge. We looked at the word pride before. Swallow your pride. So a wandering deambulante, no, ambulante, uno que se mueve. A wandering gunfighter, luchador, pero con pistola, plays two rival families against each other. So to play against or to pit against es enfrentarles. Okay? So he plays two rival families, rival, rivalry, right? Rivalry es el sustantivo, rivalidad. Rising up to the challenge of our rival, and the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night. That's right, rival families. In a town torn apart, destrozado by greed. Greed is I want more, I want more, I want more. Pride, we know. And revenge is venganza. I always forget the word greed. Codicia, avaricia. Avaricia. So the adjective is greedy, right? The adjective for pride is proud, and the adjective for revenge is vengeful. Mi mujer dice, you're vengative. I said, no, vengeful. And yes, I'm a Sicilian Scorpio. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. It's Chris Valrol, our movie queen. Fistful of Dollars. That's right. Fistful of Dollars, filmed in Almeria, directed by Sergio Leone, and it stars Clint Eastwood. Well, I think you know, just an amazing cast. It came out in 1964. 1964, A Fistful of Dollars. And you call it the same, por un puñado de dólares. In Italian, it's per un pugno di dollari. Yeah, that's the original title of the movie. Let's take a look at the scene that I've chosen over here for you. Don Miguel Rojo says, that's the right idea? ¿Eso es la idea correcta? You didn't misunderstand? No, a lo mejor no entendiste bien. And Joe says, I get the wrong idea only when it suits me. Me equivoco solo cuando me interesa, cuando me viene bien, when it suits me. And Ramon says, you are well informed, hey? You're well informed. Tan informado bien. And Joe says, a man's life in these parts often depends on a mere scrap of information. And a scrap es una migaja, una tontería, un poco, right? What you give to the cat or the dog who's begging, give him a scrap. And scrap paper es hojas de papel que ya tienen, ¿no? Que ya tienen algo escrito, pero lo usas para apuntar cosas. Scrap paper. He says, your brother's own words. And Ramon says, tell me, why are you doing this for us? And Joe holds out his hand with a response and says, $500. So there you go, folks, for a fistful of dollars. Well, in English, in Spanish, it's por un puñado de dólares, but in English, it's just a fistful of dollars. All right, it's time to move on, though, to famous birthday trivia.
For you, famous birthdays, birthdays for me, famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Oi, oi, oi. Birthdays for him, famous birthdays for her, famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, number one, this guy was born in 1944. We looked at his last name in our Double Trouble. We're on the same right? Estamos de acuerdo. And also to jump off the, well, that's his last name, Página. That's right. And he's the guitarist, songwriter, and producer in Led Zeppelin. I mean, there's only one there. Okay, he is the guy. Robert Plant and, I mean, the whole band is important. But he's one of those guitarists that, like Brian May, you know, like Slash, where the guitarist is just as famous as the lead singer, if not more. That's him. Okay. A British guy, English guitarist, songwriter. Number 2, this guy was born in 1925, an American actor. 1925, wow, long time ago. He appeared in over 170 film and television movies. Film and television roles, in a career that spanned 40 years. And he was in many spaghetti westerns, the Dollars trilogy, For a Few Dollars More, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and many, many other movies as well. And last but not least, this guy was born in 1913. He was an American president who was impeached due to the Watergate scandal. And he famously said, "I am no crook. Yo no soy un chorizo." Okay. And they called him Dick. Well, Dick is short for Richard, but Dick is also polla. So that's a weird one there. In fact, I'm imagining his election pins. I like Dick. What? You do? Oh my God. Too much information. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to give it to you because if not, we're going to run out of time. Number 1, Jimmy Page. Talking about jumping off the page. It's a good way to remember it. His guitar playing jumps off the page. Number 2, Lee Van Cleef. That's right, actor Lee Van Cleef. And number 3, Dick or Richard Nixon. All right, that's going to bring us over to our Say What soundbite. This is Richard Nixon after he had gotten caught. And he's saying, "In my years of public life, en mis años de vida pública, I must say," he goes, "that in my years of public life, that I welcome this examination." Okay, que sea bienvenida que me examinen. Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Tienen que saber si sí o si no es un ladrón su presidente. "Well, I'm not a crook." That's his famous line. Imagínate, es presidente y tu frase famosa es "no soy chorizo." "I'm not a crook." He says, "I've earned everything I've got. Me he ganado todo lo que tengo. I've earned everything I've got." All right, so here he is, Richard Nixon.
That I welcome this kind of examination because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I've earned everything I've got. Really? You sure? I'm not too sure about that. Well, Richard Nixon. Now, again, I think with people like Nixon, you're looking at this guy, you're like, of course, he got impeached. But I'm curious if, there were some good things that I don't know because it was before my time, right? But maybe there were some good things he did. I don't know. But he will forever be remembered as an impeached president because, again, and now we know Watergate, Nipplegate, right? We put gate after everything now. When there's a scandal or some kind of conspiracy, it's a gate. All right, so excellent job, my amigos. Thank you so much for joining us today and every day. We're going to say goodbye with an amazing song by Led Zeppelin, and it's called Immigrant Song. Led Zeppelin sings it. It came out in 1970. And I don't think he ever says the word immigrant in it. It's not one of those songs like Immigrant Song. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, this one, I'm sure if you know it, you know it. He lets out one of the greatest screams in rock and roll. We come from the land of the ice and snow, from the midnight sun where the hot springs flow. Hammer of the gods. So we come from the land of the ice and snow, he says, from the midnight sun where the hot springs flow. And a spring is manantial, hot springs. It's water that comes from the ground. So I think it was Sweden. I don't remember. They were in one of the Nordic countries and they wrote this song. And get ready to listen to one of the greatest wails, gemidos, screams in the history of rock and roll music with Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. Thank you so much, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. as always. Don't ever change and come back tomorrow for some more exciting English. I want you to do it with me. Your turn. We come from the land of the ice and snow, from the midnight sun where the hot springs flow. Heaven of the gods will drive our ships to new lands.